So James will be eating this unicorn cupcake for dessert, I think. And that's his dinner. And we're going to talk about some movies. I think James will talk about a book. Oh dear. And I have snow on my butt, so I'm going to be cold. So, hold on to this to keep myself warm. James will talk about this one. I guess I'll talk about the other one. Life in Pieces, the complete 4th season. Bad. So that one's not worth watching. Billions season 4. I really want to like this show more than I do, and James I think feels the same way. But it's just not that smart, honestly. It's supposed to be, but there's a lot of things about this, like there was one part, for example, one quote about one guy was telling a woman about how the male bird goes out and hunts for food, and the mother bird stays home to guard the nest. And it's like, oh wow, they didn't do any research on what birds are like. That's not the case. So they'll both leave. They'll do this. It's really interesting to watch a bird like a sparrow or something trying to get away from, say, or trying to get a hawk or away from the nest, right? And the sometimes both of the parent birds will get into it, and they'll pretend that their wings broken. They'll be like hobbling along, right? And then the other one will be flopping over that way or whatever, right? And they're just trying to get the hawk away from the nest. So sometimes they'll both get in on that, and they'll take turns going out and hunting and stuff too. It's exhausting. So, and I mean, it depends on different birds do different things, right? Anyway, totally wrong. And so anyway, there's stuff like that, and there was another part about dogs. There was this. Supposed to sound really smart when they're talking about this sort of thing, and nobody seems to disagree with stuff. But well, okay, sometimes there is, but then they're trying to seem smarter than the other guys. Anyway, so this one quote about dogs, and how we think of dogs as being loyal, but really it's the other way around. It's the humans that are loyal to the dogs, because if a human dies in an apartment with a dog, the dog will eventually start eating the human to survive, right? So, but the thing is, and I mean, I care about dogs, but if we're on a hike, I have told James this, that if we come upon some bear or something, I love Anna Fred to bits. She's great. Often the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is give Anna Fred a cuddle and kiss her, because she's so sweet. But you know, if she was barking like an idiot at a bear, and I would just leave, and she could take on that bear on her own, I think. You know, I don't think I'd be trying to, because they'd be wanting to pull it. If they wanted to leave with me, that'd be good, you know, or whatever. But anyway, I don't think I'm quite as loyal to them as they are to me, is what I'm saying. Honestly, like, there's so many examples of dogs defending their human pets. I just don't agree with that at all. And what do you think about Billions, the show? Yeah. See? Yeah, that's how we feel about it. So it's just not that smart.
Yeah.
The Garden. This was awful.
Yeah, well.
I was just listening to it.
Yeah,
it was
okay. Some crazy hind-quartered
I don't know.
Students or professors at university got together and
Decided to make an art film.
Oh, yeah, well.
I'm doing the bunny ears around those words.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we are Columbine. James actually said this was a good documentary.
It wasn't bad. Exactly right. Yeah, people weren't really, I don't think they saw much blood and gore, and maybe so much the better. You got to see how it affected. Yeah, I mean, it's a big school, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there were crazy things like it looks as though they were locking kids inside classrooms and all this kind of stuff, you know. Finally, when the police got in there, they were kind of telling people, get the hay out, you know. That's the thing to do.
Oh, so it was the teachers.
I'm not sure who all was involved, but, you know, you can't really blame them because, you know, you don't know what to do. Now, nowadays, any school in North America, not just the United States, should have plans for something like that. You know?
Yeah.
And I think basically the thing is get out. It's like a fire drill.
Yeah.
Right? Get the hay out. Unless, you know, there are going to be killers who'll be going to escape routes, right? And things like that, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, until they start doing stuff like that, then you just get people out of there if they can.
We're still together. This was actually I thought, a good movie. It was pretty low budget, and I didn't recognize any of the actors, so it seems pretty independent to me. But I thought the acting was totally believable, and the story was well written and believable. And yeah, it's good show. 3100 Run and Become. James,
What was that?
the documentary about running the
Oh,
Great Big
yeah.
One.
Well, it was about as boring as long distance running can get. Not just is, because it's like doing
You watched it
in
twice,
52
though,
days. Well, it's just because I was doing crossword puzzles or something like that. But
Okay.
you do 3,100. Is it miles? I think it's miles.
Yeah, I think so.
In the space of. So
Yep.
it'd be bad enough if it were
World's longest
kilometers.
race.
So you do that in 52 days. So if you do the math, that's like 60 miles a day. You try to walk 60 miles a day just once, you're going to be burned out. But think about running it. Now, these guys aren't running it really fast. And the deal is, if you spend about 16 hours a day of running, you can do, that'd be like 5 miles an hour. Now, I used to be able to walk 4 miles an hour, right? So it was a brisk pace, but it wasn't a killing pace. So, yeah, it's possible to do it, you know, but man, oh man. There comes a limit, you know, to stuff to doing athletic stuff. Like, are these guys heroes or are they just losers? I should say, yeah, I think there were some women in it, or one or two. So, guys, you know, guys, I'm using it kind of in a generic sense, but I don't know. I think it's a waste of time, right? No. Anyway, yeah, it was just interesting maybe to see who did this kind of stuff. So it wasn't as bad as it sounds. It was just, you know, just think about running something like, I don't know, maybe they were putting it away in 12 hours a day or even less, I'm not sure. But just think about doing that all the time and think how boring it would be. Long distance
You'd
running
have
is
to really
boring.
train for that sucker.
Well,
Make sure
you know,
you have some good
one of the big
shoes.
problems was blisters, eh?
Yeah.
You know, that could, there was a lot of pain and whatever. You wouldn't want to train too much. You'd get blistered. I think they were saying they basically didn't do any training. It was just, you know, you went out and did it.
Interesting. Okay, so the Black String stars Malcolm in the Middle as an
Hey,
adult.
Malcolm, you spared me the
And-
pain. Yeah. Or was it okay?
No, it wasn't good.
And there
but
you go. You knew what was
I
happening.
felt sorry for Malcolm.
Poor Malcolm. Yeah.
Because, well, Malcolm meets a monster, or Malcolm goes mental. We don't know.
Yeah, okay.
It's-
There we go. So he's working
They kind of
against
leave
type,
it off
right?
as Malcolm meets a monster.
There we go. Yeah.
But who can say for sure? That's a
That's
matter
right.
of interpretation,
Yeah.
I think.
Malcolm's trying to branch out.
Okay.
Oh well.
I think he's trying to get any kind of acting job. Frankly.
This is
I mean,
true. Well, he'd
it's
have
like
to branch
how
out.
we were seeing Kiefer Sutherland and stuff, and it was like, oh, is this one filmed in like Romania or something?
Poor Kiefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Mark P's Experience, terrible.
Mark.
Oh, so terrible.
Ooh.
I thought it'd be good because it's Jason Schwartzman and Ben Stiller, and that cute little lady. What's her name? Oh, Anna Kendricks.
I don't know who that is.
Yep.
Let's see.
Kendrick. The little girl in the corner there.
Oh yeah.
Well, she'd be a woman.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah,
I don't know. When you get to be my age, they all look like children.
Yeah, 50-year-olds for me look like pups. So what goodness. It's all relative. I look at Justin Trudeau, or you got something a bit on your chin.
Do I? Did
It's gone now. Anyway, it's just a little crumb. It's probably not even showing up on camera. But I was listening to the debate, Scheer and Trudeau and May, and they all sound like kids to me. Like kids like teenage kids having an argument or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, what are we left with? Smallville, Nashville. Okay. Yeah. So what is this called? Nuking the Moon or something like that? So this guy does something for, he handles some sort of spy museum somewhere. I hope it's in Langley, Virginia, but maybe in the Washington area. But yeah, he's got all sorts of crazy spy plans. I didn't go through it all. I just checked out stuff that I knew a little bit about. The nuke in the moon, I guess, was 58, so this is 1 year after the Russians beat the Americans into space. I think the Americans decided they were going to show their power by nuking the moon. Yeah. Stupid.
That's funny.
But, the thing is, this guy's laughing at the stuff, and I'm going, yeah, like these people are spies, and this is what they get paid to do. I mean, what this stuff is like, what do they call it, brainstorming, or what's another term for it, where you're just shooting the breeze, trying to come up with ideas, right?
No, whatever.
So, some of them went beyond just that kind of stage. So the ones I concentrated on were the things that were during the Kennedy administration and the late Eisenhower administration, because the first thing I checked out were plans to kill Fidel Castro. So it was kind of like the exploding cigar type of tricks, But they were also trying to make him look bad, So there was one that was supposed to be a depilatory, like thallium, I guess. It sounds sick. Thallium salves are what a lot of depilatories are. I don't know if thallium is radioactive, but it can be good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Thallium is used in depilatory. At least that's what this dude says. And so they were wanting to put thallium. I guess it was in a cigar or something like that, so he'd lose his big famous beard and stuff like that. And then the people wouldn't think he was sexy anymore or whatever. And then they'd have, well. And then there was most of the things were plans to kill him, so there was a shellfish or something like that. I guess he liked swimming or scuba diving or something like that. That was supposed to blow up, It was supposed to attract him at first and go over it. Well, there's lots of fish in the sea. There's lots of shellfish. So lots of stupid ideas.
These things sound like Looney Tunes. What were they watching? Bugs Bunny?
This is CIA and also Department or the Defense Intelligence Agency, which is like would be the military kind of stuff. A lot of people don't realize those scumbags are out there doing stuff as well, or dreaming stuff up. But yeah, there was one. There was I guess she's well known. She was a lover of Castro, and she turned against him because he got her pregnant. It looks as though he handled the household economy kind of the kind of the way he handled the Cuban economy is not very well planned. A lot of these guys, all they're good at, revolutionaries, is having a revolution. Guess what? But they're not good at handling the economy or anything like that. They're very good at war, and then they take over, and then they have home field disadvantage.
Yeah.
I've actually got to have a plan for after the revolution. Wow, that's not in Marx, and it really isn't in Marx. So, and Castro, according to his own account, didn't get through much of Marx. He said he got through what, a third of Das Kapital, and I'm going, boy, oh boy, was he overstating the case. Probably. Well, I suspect it. Anyway, this woman's name was Marita, something like that, Lawrence. And I'd heard about her. You'd never heard about her, right? Marita Lawrence. And so they took her baby away from her. Yeah.
Who?
And the Cubans. So she was Castro's lover, and that would have got me a little bit annoyed.
Yeah.
And so she ends up defecting, and they send her back to assassinate him. And the story goes, I guess this is her story, is she had a gun, and he just in a holster or something, he grabbed it out and says, it takes, like, I'm going to live forever, kind of like that thing, and stuff like that. So she was hanging with some weird people. I mean, almost as bad as Castro. She was hanging with a guy called E. Howard Hunt and Frank Sturgis. His real name was, Fiorino. So Sturgis had connections with the mafia. E. Howard Hunt it's well documented. He was in the CIA at this point in time, right? And now this is not in the book. I'm providing. See, he's just talking about the assassination. But, on 21st of November, 1963, do you know what happened on 22nd of November, 1963?
I don't know what.
21st of November, she's driving from Florida to Dallas, Texas.
On the when?
21st of November.
She's going
22nd
to
of November.
Dallas.
To Dallas, Texas.
And then
with
Kennedy
a guy
was
called E.
assassinated.
Howard Hunt, who was involved with a Watergate burglary. And understand, this is not some fly-by-night kind of person. She's a historical figure. You know what I'm saying? She's powerful enough to get really next to Fidel Castro. And what she says is she was with E. Howard Hunt, the later Watergate burglar. Watergate was almost 10 years later. And Frank Sturgis, otherwise known as, I think it's Fiorino or something like that. And so another Watergate burglar, and maybe a few others. And guess what was in the trunk? Guns and ammo. Guns and ammo. And they were, what happened the next day, the 22nd. Yeah. So actually, she was involved in a court case where E. Howard Hunt was suing a Liberty Lobby paper, newspaper, or journal, or magazine, or something like that, and they'd accused him of being involved in the killing of JFK. And what he said was, E. Howard Hunt, he was a smart guy, went to Brown University, that's Ivy League, right, in Rhode Island, and here's what he was saying on I guess up on the stand, and he was saying, man, oh man. Now his alibi were his kids, right? He was saying on the 22nd of this November, he was with his kids, and there's no way he was in Dallas. And then what he was saying was, on the stand, there's the trouble with Ivy League dudes. He gets up on the stand and says, can you imagine? It's so, he's suing Liberty Lobby, I don't know, $1 million or something like that for libel. Can you imagine how, so he's getting in this victim impact statement. Can you imagine how awful it is? My kids keep on coming up and asking me, did you do it, Dad? Were you involved? And the guy who wrote the book that I read about it, who was like the defense attorney, Mark Lane, said, I knew right then I'd won the case. Because you see, the kids are his alibi. And then they're asking him. So that's Ivy League and that's CIA, right? But, Mark Lane made sure to ask E. Howard Hunt, we've got your alibi for the 22nd. And then he said, can you tell us where you were on the 21st? No, I can't remember. See, that's the key. Mark Lane nailed him because didn't. And then all of a sudden, Marita Lawrence is on the stand.
Yeah. And she was with him, so
Yep.
yeah.
No alibi. No alibi. E. Howard Hunt. Oh, you're dead. But yeah, there's E. Howard Hunt was involved in killing one way or another, and I don't think too many CIA probably went only as high as him. These scumbugs were always involved in slime. You know, Frank Sturgis
I'm
changed
freezing.
his
I
name.
have to go in.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anything to say about Nashville?
Yeah, well, we're still watching it, but it's actually better than I thought it would be. It's long. I don't have to
Very
tell you
long.
that. You know, the dogs have
160 minutes.
Mhm.
So long.
Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's pretty impressive.
Okay, my butt's really wet now.